Welcome to Positive Talk with Kevin McDonald. Hey, that's me. Hi, and welcome to Positive Talk. Our show features the best positive stories and people from around the globe as we endeavor to answer the universal question of why am I here and what is my purpose? Understanding that can change everything, and knowing your greatness is fundamental to living your best life. So join us right now as together we work to create the adventure of our lifetime. You know, speaking of adventures of our lifetime, our guest today has been doing that for a long time and has really become a very special person in Positive Talk world. Her name is Andrea Wehlann, and she is a Wehlann without the D, and she is a remarkable human being. And we've kind of struck up sort of a soul conversation, and she is just remarkable. So I had to have her back. She's been on the show before. She's going to be on again. But there's so much to talk about with her and her walk and all the things she's done. She in very much followed the same path that I have in the people that she's met, the things that she's worked on, although she's a yoga instructor and I can't do any of that, but I'm going to learn. And so I hope that you'll stay with us for the entire hour because she is just remarkable. Andrea, how are you, my friend?
I'm so excited to speak with you again. As I mentioned before we're off air, I really feel that you are my soul family. I love the changes that you've made. I've made a bunch of changes myself, and the changes are all about the greatness and the greatness within, and really shining from that kind of heart-centered power, that intrinsic destiny kind of seed, but not just for ourselves, but to now help other people find that and cultivate that. And so just being here in this moment is an absolute dream come true for me. And I thank you for having me. Thank you.
I feel the exact same way because you have the ability to help other people who may be, at one point in time, I believe everybody in their life asks this question: why am I here? And is this all there is? There has to be more. And what is my purpose? What am I really here to do? It's not about getting a paycheck, and it's not about the mundane things we do in life, go to the grocery store and that kind of stuff. It's how do we live a life that we are proud of, that we can have a grand adventure. And I believe that if you believe that you can do that, then you will have a grand adventure every day. I know you've done that. You've been all over the place.
Yes. Yes.
Tell us a little bit about your background, a little bit about your story.
I'm just a small town girl, born on Lake Erie. Small town girl, big heart. My heart's always been oversized. We live in a town, Port Colborne on Lake Erie, where it's the locks. And I would always walk from home and sit up by the water, always with a cute little journal and a pen. And I would write about love. I would write to the stars, to the moons, to just that feeling that I had within. I would write love stories and dream of a bigger and a better world. And here I am doing the same thing right now. I'm still that little girl. The world took me in a lot of dark places, and I really had to crawl through some trenches. There was a few times I didn't think I would ever breathe again. A few times I think I was left for dead. A few times the world ate me up. Lots of times people brought me down. But I still had that feeling inside, which in Zen we call bodhicitta. It's like a feeling of knowingness that you're born with. I still knew I had those dreams. I felt that love inside me. I wrote it down in my books of poetry. And, nothing on the outside could ever take that from me. Yeah. So
that's an amazing story. Now, so did you always grow up and have a knowingness inside of you that you were special?
I never thought I was special. I thought that I was just a bad seed, victim, and just meant to die, waste, and no purpose. But I knew that when I wrote the poetry, the words were so much bigger than my age. And I'm talking age 7, with a vocabulary I didn't recognize, but that I heard it and was able to translate and just write it out on paper. And it just kept going. And ultimately, looking back, that's what kind of saved me from a lot of depressing situations, a lot of abusive situations, a lot of 1970s growing up kind of situations where people just didn't know better what they were doing, right? But still, that all has to be worked through, regardless of not of the reasons. You know, in one area, I remember being pinned down in some, I don't know, some kid's garage, and they had my shirt up above my head, someone sitting on my legs, someone sitting on my arms, and just kind of using like old wooden spoons on my chest and making jokes and all this. Like, how on earth do these things happen? I don't know, but what a weird situation to be in. But we have to process that stuff, and that those kind of things, they change you and you act in a certain way because of that. On the other hand, I it's the bodhicitta for me. I feel that um, I could go home and write about it. I have a story to tell about it, about those situations. And I don't know that a lot of other people have. But once those situations started to stack up upon themselves, upon themselves, upon themselves, up until 17 to a maximum where I had no other choice but to look at myself and say, well, these are some extraordinary things happening here. This isn't just the norm of one event happening. Like, I really had a lot of extraordinary circumstances. And I see that as a gift, sometimes as a curse, but always as love in this moment.
It amazes me because I think that everybody has got unique things that have happened to them in their life,
Mm,
and what you're describing is unique and not so unique because it happens to a lot of people. Um,
mm,
but at the same time, it's how you process it, how you deal with it. I like to tell a story. I don't know anybody who has been hung by the neck, like I was when I was 10, by my brother, in the backyard, and stuff. But there's lots of
wow.
things, and that we process, or the time he threw me in the dryer, or and turned it on, and different.
I have that. I, the hanging one we can talk about. Was it like a real rope and the bottom kicked out from under?
Well, let me tell the story real quick. Is that
Mm.
at 10, there was a movie that we watched a movie trailer while we were watching Planet of the Apes with Charlton Heston, and
Oh,
the movie trailer was "Hang 'Em High," and that was with Clint Eastwood. And so we had
right.
an apricot tree in the backyard, and I walked into the backyard. My brother had taken a rope and had tied it to one of the limbs, and another loop at the end of it, and a ladder was next to it, a 6-foot ladder. And so
Mhm.
me pretending to be Clint Eastwood or one of the guys in that movie, Hang 'Em High, I climbed up into the ladder and was fantasizing of what it would be like if you were going to get hung. Well, I put my head through the noose and my brother pulled the ladder away. And so I was literally hanging there by my neck. Fortunately, it wasn't a slip knot. That would have been a lot worse. But then he
Oh
put the
my
ladder
God.
back, and I had rope burns from ear to ear and all that kind of good stuff. But those things
Whoa.
happen, you know.
Wow. What
And
was going through your mind in that moment with the ladder out? What was it? Do you remember what your thinking pattern was?
I was thinking, this hurts like a son of a gun. And where
Not laughing at, but
no, no, and it was like, why did, and to this day, and my brother's passed now, but to this day,
oh,
he has
this
never adequately explained why why he would do such a thing. I can't even imagine. But that,
Mm-hmm.
but the my process, my thought there is that happened. Things happen to everybody, and it's
Mm-hmm.
how you deal with them. And then you had
Mm-hmm.
such a big heart that those things that happened to you, you were able to not necessarily. Well, I don't know. Let me ask you: those
Mm-hmm.
people that were so mean to you,
Mm-hmm.
did you forgive them? Did you just ignore them? What was your thought process?
Mm. I, at one point I was about 6 or 7, and I was pinned up against the wall, and we wore little jumpers. And so, of course, it was riding up, and there was so much pain down below for me. And I'm pinned against the wall, and just kind of like 6, you're just kind of hanging there, right? I could feel the burning pain. But in my head, I just heard the voice so clearly: this is wrong. This is wrong. This is wrong. And I don't know if other people would have had that, but that's the bodhicitta. It's not like I wasn't angry at anybody. It's just I had a strong knowingness of how wrong that was at that time. Like,
I'm so sorry that happened to you.
thank you. Thank you. I'm sorry that that happened to you as well.
But,
Mm-hmm.
the thing is that we both came out the other side. I still have a loving heart. I forgave my brother a million years ago, and we are, you know, you and I feel like we are destined to help humanity heal in a great way.
Amen.
Do you feel that way?
Amen. In every choice that I make and have made, this is how I feel. I feel like that is my being. I feel like that is my presence. And I feel like all of my extraordinary experiences are so that I can meet people where they're at. They might just have one thing and that they're stuck on. And I get it, because I got stuck on all of mine. I really wanted to explore them all, carry them all, act the part that culture told me to. But now I've transformed all of that. This lady sitting here today has transformed all of that. And so it's a real gift for me to have so many terrible things, because when I meet somebody, I hope I can say, like a GPS in the inner mind. I try and I feel like I've gained this inner GPS. So it's like, that's where you are. I see you. Let me guide you here. Let me show you the light that's already there too. Yes, that's there. The light is also there. Let's pray.
I'm a firm believer that all of our experiences. Well, let me back up just a touch. I believe that you have a soul contract, that you put together your life and what you wanted to accomplish in this life before you even got here. And
Mm,
so you, along with the millions of
mm,
people that are around you, conspired to create this great big play that we were all going to be part of. And some will have major parts, some would have minor parts, but it's all around getting the um, experiences that you need to do exactly what you said, to be able to meet a lot of different people at where they're at, and to
mhm,
understand where they're at, and to be able to communicate your story with them so that they know that they're not alone.
mhm. And just the main thing for me is just to show them that they're seen.
Yeah,
Just to
exactly.
show them that they're seen. Because you just need one person to see you, and that is so healing, just in its own. And dis-ease and disease, that can take a long time to happen in the body, and disconnection, and then all the friends come in, like anger, resentment, betrayal. They all like to hang out in that crowd. But when you can be heard and you can just be seen by someone to see you, that just sparks up all the other seeds within you, all those burning embers in the soul, that are destiny and that we all have. And those are the light, the compassion, the love, the kindness. Those are also there. It's not separate from us. And in Zen, Thich Nhat Hanh teaches there's 72 seats within us all. And so it's which ones are you watering? And I get that we get stuck. This is how the mind works. The left side of your mind will get stuck trying to figure it out. But why? But it doesn't make sense. But it hurt. But it's wrong. Yeah, you can hang out there a long time, right? But also, there's light, kindness, forgiveness, compassion, people that care, love, generosity, abundance. Those are also there.
And you chose, as I did, that's how you're going to live your life, on the light side
Absolutely.
rather
Yeah.
than living in the dark side.
No matter what now. Only because I played the other part and I saw how that played out. I saw how that played out. And then for me, that was breaking no ancestral patterns. That was continuing generations of abusive actions, of people standing in front of me with their faces smushed up, like, who is this person? Like, those are not the reactions that I want to have from people anymore. And so I work really hard to have a home that's surrounded by the things that I love, for every word that I write to come from that loving vibration. It's been a lot of work. I have a lot of trainings to try and stack me up. And yeah, it's a choice, and it's work, and it's discipline and sacrifice.
When you made that decision that you were not going to live in the dark place anymore, was it
Mm-hmm.
a conscious decision? Was it Did you ask the question, as I did, why am I really here? And that led to a series of events that would show me why I'm really here. What was it for you? Did you have an instant change, or was it, this isn't working for me, I want to try something else, and you began to learn what that was?
Um, yeah, I, holding a steak knife on my left wrist and just trying to saw through it, after beating the challenges of one, being a small town girl, being told that universities don't take people like you and you'll never amount to anything. And then going out in the world a little bit like it owed me something and acting like a jerk, trying alcohol for the first time, making people mad at me, um, being sexually assaulted, being raped, left for dead, then having to fight a corrupt blue collar system. You know, I just didn't know what else to do, and just attributed it to what culture was saying was, well, if these things happen, then that's your life path. You're a victim. So I just wanted to end it, to be honest with you. I just had enough. I mean, how much, that's only talking up to age 19. Like I had enough. So as I was sawing away here, and my skin was peeling off just like Parmesan cheese, to be honest with you. I'm Italian, so that might be how I related it. Not the same smell, but that's what was happening. And I was watching it, and yeah, and that was one way. And the insight came, like the Shania Twain song was out around the same time, called Up. So it's like, yeah, like I could end it, like this could be the end. But then also, this bodhicitta, or whatever is in me that shows me the other side, the miraculous, the God, the divine, or the purpose. That's what I heard was up, and I didn't do it. But what I did was change my life and my surroundings and the people I hung around. And I always made choices that didn't align with anything that led me up to the steak knife gate.
Well,
I'm,
and
you know,
yes, and congratulations, because the world would be a far lesser place if you were not in it. And
mm,
when we come back from this break, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, I'm going to give everybody a number that they can call if in the United States, if there is a problem that you need help with. So stay right there. We're going to take this is just like a 30-second break. So we'll be right back. And we are talking with Andrea Wehlann, and she's a yoga instructor. She is an amazing young woman. And we'll be right back.
They have your eyes. They have your ears. They have your smile. Now all they need is a little more of your time. Make a difference in your child's life, because anyone can be a father. It takes time to be a dad.
And welcome back, everybody, to Positive Talk with Kevin McDonald. I'm so glad you're here because
I love it.
Sometimes I make myself giggle. We have an extraordinarily talented young lady with us today. Her name is Andrea Wehlann, and she's a yoga instructor. She also has studied all kinds of yoga and different aspects of spirituality so that she could help other people find a way to understand and know their own greatness, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. But first, I promised you a number. And if you know somebody, if you are somebody that feels like your life is not worth living, I want you to call this number. Call 988. And that's all you need to do. It's a national hotline, and that number will get you in contact with somebody who can help you realize that you are indeed great, and you really maybe need some help to find your greatness. And maybe going to someone like Andrea would help that. But go to 988. Anyway, so I just wanted to get that out there because I think that we're losing way too many people.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a sensitive topic, and I appreciate that. Obviously, been there myself, so I do appreciate that it is sensitive. Yeah, it's a state of mind. It's a state of mind. And there's also other states. And I was really lucky, I guess, if you tie that together with the being pinned up against the wall and having that insight that that's wrong. It was the same thing. I had insight, and I listened to my insight. And this is why I've come to teach yoga, because it's a space and a time where people can be quiet. And in Zen, it's called Vipassana. And it's actually an insight practice. We have all that we need inside of us already. To say that we don't, or to argue that with yourself, you can, but that's also an attack on yourself. And that's metaphysics 101. How can the creator didn't create something less by having you here. So really, insight is available if you have the conditions. This is what yoga, meditation, maybe for you, Kevin, it's just in these moments where you're quietly listening to people. That might be where you get your insight. But you'll see people on TV shows, and now that we're planting the seed in people to look for this, the show Billions, before they make any tough decisions, you see them in their chair with their eyes closed, just even for a moment, and then they wake up and they have the idea. They know what stock to buy. They know what to do. And we all have this insight. And we can practice it, we can strengthen it, we can water those seeds, but it is within us. We know things, we have an inner intelligence. This is not taught to you watching Fox News, but you can get it here on Positive Talk.
I have to make a commercial out of that. Don't listen to Fox News. Listen to Positive Talk, because we can help you actually live your life in a better way by bringing people like Andrea to the conversation, because you are truly great, but we all are. And that's the one thing that, I gotta tell you just a quick story. I have an associate who's my coach. Her name is Dana Parker. And we were sitting there going, I need a new way of reaching people, of talking about what we're talking about. And so we spent like 40 minutes, and it kind of was like a wordsmith to kind of figure it out. And it ended up being Know Your Greatness, the adventure of a lifetime. Because if you know who you are and how great you are, but I want your confirmation. It takes a lot of work to understand your greatness, doesn't it?
You just get to know it. Yeah, you just get to know it. And you just get to know it, but it's a muscle and you strengthen it. If you're working in a shitty job with shitty coworkers and you're able to move out of that, you'll have a knowingness. You'll gain an insight. You'll have wisdom. Then when you get to the next stop, you'll know, oh, I fit in here. I'm feeling this. I feel better. Okay, staying here. There's an inner compass that's always talking to you. Yeah, you
And
can
that's
know these things.
Yeah, and well, and for those of you that are going, oh, come on now, inner compass, intuition, oh, stop. I
Mhm.
want to call your attention to the fact that every author that I've talked to says when they've written their book, I say, where did it come from? And they say, I don't know, it just kind of showed up. Or a musician. My favorite story is Paul McCartney, who wrote Yesterday, and it was a dream that he had, and he woke
Yes,
up with a song in his head. That's
yes,
intuition. So if you
yes.
pay attention and listen, you might actually hear something. Is
Yeah.
that right?
And so paying attention and listening is yoga.
Ah,
So your story, so do you have a time where you paid attention and you listened?
oh, all the time.
So the next time you introduce me and you say that you've never done yoga, you have a new story to tell because that is uniting your mind with what you're thinking, with your body and your action. That is to yoga, to unite. That's what we're talking about with yoga. That's what's happening.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's brilliant because
that's it. That it's inner calm amidst chaos, and it keeps you calm. When you have that, you're not chaotic because the mind cannot serve two masters. When you know what you're doing is aligning with what you heard in your mind, you have yoked and you are on your path. That's greatness. That's greatness.
well, and I got to tell you, it happens all the time to me. I
It-
can quote a
yeah.
chapter and verse my entire life, since I was 42, of how
Mhm.
things have just lined up. Because,
Mhm.
and I make this kind of a joke, but it's for me, it's true. When I talk
Mhm.
to my guides, and I ask them, because I believe that
Yeah.
I was destined to do this my entire life,
Mhm.
and I asked them when I was 42, all right, guys, why am I really here? Show me why I'm
Mhm.
really here. And I got the answer from the other side. It was like, finally, he's asked us for help. Now we
Yeah.
can help. Now we can lay it all out and we can make it all happen in divine timing. But we couldn't do anything until you made that
Yeah.
statement and you asked
Mhm.
for help.
Yeah. Yeah. So if anybody's listening, let's just make it easy for them now. Here's how it goes. If you're feeling stuck in your life, close your eyes for a minute and say, I am stuck. Please show me where you would have me go. Who would you have me meet? What would you have me say? The
Could you
universe is always listening.
Will you repeat that, please? Somebody's trying to write it down.
Yes. If no matter where you are, close your eyes. Why? When your eyes are closed, you are in your feeling body. Close your eyes and feel. All you need is within you. Ask these questions or just acknowledge, I feel stuck. What the heck am I doing? Please show me now. Who would you have me see? What would you have me say? And to whom? Very simple.
We need to put that out more, because I think that if everyone were to take that and then sit back and listen and watch things
It comes.
unfold in a
Yeah.
miraculous way.
The universe is always waiting. This is understanding how it's not waiting. It is. The stars are there. Everything just is. But it's our mind because we have elevated to this. We're the only humans, animals with this consciousness. But it's a lot of times used against us because we're not taught how to use it for us. Right? And so this is what we're doing. we're getting our mind on our side. So we're not trying to lose weight and ordering a pizza.
I don't
Right?
know what you're talking about.
Let's try.
No,
I was going to make a joke about that myself. My delivery guy's here.
well, yeah, it's kind of like, I'm never going to have another cookie again past the Oreos.
Yeah, except the ones on my counter. But this is important. It doesn't have to be stiff. It doesn't have to be a lot of crying work. It was for me. I could show you bins and bins and bins and bins right now on my floor of all the self-work that I did. I wrote everything out. I left no stone unturned. But listen, the conversations that we're having right now, people are aware of their greatness. We have the internet. We see things, and we are starting to see that the old stories of the Romans or of, the married people, like that, they're starting to change. And I believe that our conversations are giving people new stories to open up doors to their hearts and to their minds, and that will lead to their purpose and a more compassionate world. And I'm so excited about it. And that was probably a tangent, but
no, you know what I liked about that? What you were just doing right there is that was clearly, totally, and completely from your heart. And that, my friend, is so important for us to honor. And because that is so important. We need to take a break. When we come back, she also besides being a yoga instructor, and you can go to Ganga Moon Yoga, and it's ganga-moon-yoga .square.site.
Yeah, Ganga Moon Yoga Square site. It'll pop up.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah. And go there, find out all about her. We're going to talk about her books and her writings and what she's doing there with the poems and with her inspired writing. So we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back in a minute, 10 seconds or so.
You're listening to Brushwood Media Network, the best in syndicated talk, news, and entertainment shows.
A lifetime of savings can disappear overnight. Millions of dollars are stolen every day from unsuspecting older adults by family members, caregivers, and trusted professionals. If you suspect financial exploitation, call the Elder Care Locator at 1-800-677-1116 or go online to the National Adult Protective Services Association to be connected with help in your area.
And welcome back to Positive Talk with Kevin McDonald. And I just want to highlight that last commercial just real quick, because I are getting to be an older one. And I know lots of people that are older than they may not be as aware of people trying to take their money and do stuff. So heed that. And because, older people need their nest egg so that they can live until it's time to go. But in any event, we're talking with Andrea Wehlann, and we're going to talk about her book. She's got at least 3 books that I know about. Are there more?
I want to read you a poem.
I would love for you to read us a poem.
So my Buddhist Zen teacher always started his classes with a poem. And what I learned from him was he taught me that one poem a day softens your heart. Just reading one poem a day softens your heart. So if you buy No Matter How Dark the Stain, Poems and Inspiration for the Woman in Pain, the book I released in 2021 to uplift and inspire any woman who might be down on her knees. Just it's not a cover to cover read. Keep it by the bedside. Read one poem a day. Want to gift somebody something and not quite sure of the words to say? This is perfect. But I'll read you one poem.
Please.
Okay. This one is called Live in Light. It's in my smile that tilts its wave, hidden beneath my fear love craves, to see your face, the sun and moon, whispering broken words, an unknown tune, I long for you with me through the long dreaded night's eternity, till the water halts its shallow mist and mother's children remain unkissed, till earth and shore remain neutral tones and wondrous worries come to the known, till sky and shark embrace in sweet, till shh and song simply retreat, until the desert's deserted floor knocks down forest's secluded door, till man and woman charge and stride, till black and white hold hands with pride, until the darkness's terrorizing gasp fills up with love light deserves at last, to be entwined within the arms I love. No darkness can keep me from taking my place. I will be strong, the light I will chase, knowing in the end light's shadow will be cast upon your beautiful face, and only together can we make dreams come true. So I will live in this darkness till I can live in light with you. Thank you.
Hold on. That's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And you wrote that, yes?
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
that is the first or the
Every word.
latest book she's written, which is No Matter How Dark the Stain.
This
Poems
is number one in 2021. That's the very first book that I got published.
Oh, but then there's others.
Yes.
There's Deeper Days, 365 yoga inspirations for inner calm amidst chaos.
Yes, so important. And then just this August, I wanted to have a book that was also a journal where people could write, because when you read poems or you practice yoga or you get those insights, it's nice to capture it on paper. And so I created Stillness in the Storm, a conscious daily journal of yoga and spiritual healing, which quickly went to Amazon #1 after I worked at it until 11 o'clock at night. Finally, it made it, but this has my yoga classes that I teach here in my studio for everybody and everyone who owns it, and also some space that you can write out your thoughts, your feelings, because when you write out and you create space in your body for all good things,
That's
there's
important.
more room. Yes, so important.
Journaling, if you like to write, now I'm not a real big writer, but I am a big talker, so I talk to myself a lot. But if journaling is a great way for you to write down what your thoughts are, your fears, what happened that day, so that you can keep a catalog so that you can move forward. Do you find that to be true?
Yeah, Kevin, honestly, if I turn this camera around, you wouldn't believe the amount of journals I am surrounded by. But here's the thing. I knew they were important because it seemed greater than me, but it was coming through me. I knew it was important, but not until 2021, I lost my yoga studio, closed down. Obviously, couldn't do anything healthy, just go to Costco. But sorry, that slipped out. And when I heard that the domestic violence phone calls during the lockdown increased 60%. 60. What? So that made sense why I wrote all those years. Through every time that I felt anything painful, I wrote it down. I found words for all of it. And I was so happy that there was that moment in time, that there was a large number of women that may be able to benefit from the words. Because sometimes things happen, Kevin, and there's no words. And so what does it do? It lingers. It can't go anywhere. It's It just hangs out and keeps popping up and keeps staying in you. But when you have words, or you can transform a negative experience and find the positive, you have shown light into that area. And where there is light, there can be no darkness. And this is so important, to be able to let go of strong emotions like shame and guilt, especially for women in domestic violence situations. There's a lot that they carry, and they don't need to, because they're destiny and they have greatness within them. So,
one of the things, tell me if you think this is a good idea or not. One of the things that I've been told in various places and conferences I've gone to, if there's somebody in your life who has really hurt you, or you really need to forgive them for what they've done, or you want to, that write down the entire, write them a letter explaining everything about why you're upset and so forth and so on. At the end of that letter, you take it, you read it, and then you burn it and let it go. Does that make sense?
Love, I do fire ceremonies sometimes in the studio. Because I'm a Reiki master, the point I'm at, I can pretty much feel it. I can feel who's coming. I can feel where I'm going at this point of my life and after all these years. So just recently, I opened Reiki School, SKOOL, as part of Wehlann Yoga, to be able to teach people how to practice Reiki and become Reiki practitioners. More light in the world? Fabulous. I can do it. I will. But when they first came in, there was a heavy feeling, a lot of stuff. And I'm like, okay, let's all light a candle. Who's got to write some stuff down? And within the first half an hour, everyone was crying and had these heavy, heavy stories. And then we move on, right? The mind cannot serve two masters. So we have to let that stuff go, set down the heavy backpacks, burn it up in the little fire bowl, no problem, gone. And then what is there? Space, an extra breath to come from a more creative, loving place. This is the process all the time. I always tell people, they're like, I can't get over my ex-boyfriend. Write down everything you ever wanted to hear from them, because the body doesn't know if it's coming from the person or not. It's all being processed within you. That's why I say everything you need is within you. I went to Brazil. I went to the monasteries. I've been and checked myself in for silent retreat after silent retreat until I figured it out. But we don't need to do that now. If you sit down and write a letter and you're holding a grudge, if you write that letter honestly and openly, how can it still hurt you? It's impossible. It's just the laws of nature and the universe don't work that way.
So you can just, at that point, just let it go.
Oh, there's nothing to, it's already gone. It's old. It's already gone.
Yes.
There's nothing to hold on to. Yeah, but it's tricky with the language that's out there. It's tricky. So that might be a little bit hard for people to understand. But one thing I always say, better out than in. If you feel you need an apology from someone, you write that to yourself. And what I also did this weekend at the Reiki school that I opened, we talked about anger, because one of the Reiki principles is just for today, do not anger. But sometimes anger comes up. So what do we do with it? So I had them write down the anger. And then the next time, then in a few minutes, once everyone was written, we wrote a love story about it. Because it's the same mind. Yeah, why not?
Oh, that's pretty cool.
It's the same mind. It's your same mind that can create a horror story or a love story. So it's like, what are we doing with ourselves? Just telling ourselves horror stories all day long? No one's teaching how to use your mind. Write a love story. You can write a love story with your mind right now about anything.
That's really cool. So if somebody's harmed you, which by the way, I want to preference that by saying nobody can harm you. You are a eternal being, then you are internally and you are fundamentally great. And so because you are great, if you accept your greatness, you cannot be harmed by anybody. They can say what they want. I mean, physically they can harm you a little bit. And so well, go ahead, tell me what you think.
There are malicious people. There are malicious
Yes, sir.
people who spend hours and months and years attacking a benevolent person. There are malicious people and benevolent people, and they absolutely can wreak absolute havoc and destroy lives.
You know what's interesting about that? I agree with you. And first of all, I've never been a woman in this life that I'm aware of. And I would, the things that you are confronted with as a sex,
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to deal with. Nobody is going to attempt to physically abuse me unless they
Mm-hmm.
want to beat me up. But women, you have, it's a whole different thing.
It's a whole different thing.
And I really appreciate
Entirely.
when somebody like you can come forward who's been down that road that I can't even imagine what that road is like, because it's not in my experience.
Yeah, you can read about it. You can read some of the poems in the book about it. Let me tell you a little story that might put that in perspective. That I saw something that Teal Swan did. She was speaking in an audience, and it's a little bit stunning and shocking, which is why I remember it. But it might just add some oxygen onto exactly what you were just saying. So the audience was full of men and women, and she said to them, of course, like, don't quote me, but I'm doing my best. She said to the audience, please put your hand up if you were afraid that you were going to die today. Oh, yeah, what is that first? Yeah, and every woman in the audience put their hand up. And every man's face was like, completely unbelievable. It's not on the male radar. But every woman, every day of her life, is afraid and feels like it might be her last day. The whole audience. And that's what made it so stunning, was because it was full of men and women, and the men had no idea, but every woman's hand was up.
You know, I've been on the planet for a while, and I've gone to a lot of different places. I've been in downtowns. I've been through central districts and rough neighborhoods and things like that. I have never in my life had to worry about making
Wow.
sure that I was walking in the right place, that I was
Wow.
making sure that there was enough light in the parking lot, making sure I had my keys in my hand, and looking around to see if there was anybody lurking in the shadows. I've never had to do that, not once in my entire life.
Amazing.
But every woman that I know, that's part of their common day, everyday practice.
Every day we're afraid.
And that's a hell of a way to live. I'm so sorry.
And we're the ones full of compassion. We're the like by nature, not that by nature, the female nature, the goddess nature is the compassionate side, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
and we're all walking around scared. And I write and I teach, and I'm coming on this show to uplift that and shake up the stories, because I want to hear what those ladies that are beat down and scared have to say. I want to read their books, because I have a dream that women will rise, that we can use our voices, and I want to hear the songs that aren't sung yet from these women that are sitting at home, a victim of their circumstance. And I want them to know that you're not what happened to you. You're not.
Exactly.
You're not. You are destiny, and there is what within you?
Greatness. Well, I interviewed a gal yesterday who's going to be on the show in a couple of weeks on the Brushwood Media Network, who, and she's written a book about narcissistic abuse, which is really encompasses all of it. It's physical, it's sexual, it's also emotional, and she went through 25 years of that before she was able to get out of the situation.
Yes. Yeah. Because it's sneaky. You don't see that train coming. And all of a sudden.
Yep.
Yeah, because it comes in nice, right? It comes in nice and rosy, and and love bombing and cute and feels nice and feels right. And how could it be anything else? The problem is they can't keep up the facade. And so the cracks start to come. And ooh, they should teach people about that personality in grade 4.
They really should.
That is something.
And they should teach boys how not to be that guy.
Yeah.
I don't,
Amazing.
it's because, and that's what makes this our walk here on earth. It makes it so difficult because it's heavy, it's dense.
Mhm.
There's a lot of people that are of different levels of maturity, soul
Mhm.
maturity, and you have a
Mhm.
lot of people that are not interested or capable or understanding of who
Mhm.
they really are. So
Yeah.
they're reacting to their lowest based instincts, which is bad for everybody.
And drinking and eating from the culture. Drinking the
Exactly.
Kool-Aid. There no red pills there. Yeah. Just here's a pot store on every corner, and here's your data increase. And
When you go to the grocery store and you look at the aisle, the number of aisles dedicated to wine, beer, spirits, all of that, it's like, I think we have a problem, Houston. We all seem to be going home every day and getting drunk. And
are you speaking of them at the grocery store, or the ones that they've now included on the right-hand side of the pharmacies? Every Walmart has a back wall. Is it just
exactly, it's everywhere. It
yeah?
is. It's everywhere, and
It's a lot. The world is heavy. It's not getting better, but we are. And there's tips and tricks and things you can do to stay connected to your heart. Our nature is not like that. So they can put that stuff up all around us all they want. They can put that cage there, but they don't have to have your heart. That's Martin Luther King. You can take my body, but you can't take my heart. And that's the same way I'm going down. That's my choice as well. And I'm all about long live the heart. And I'm going to teach about the heart and about how to stay connected to the heart until the day that I die or live. Because
and
sometimes
but
I think life is coming.
exactly. Well, you're not going to die. You're going to transition,
I'm going to live. Yeah.
and you're going to go home, and then you're going to reload, and then you're going to come back and do this again, maybe.
I'm a number 9 life path number, so that's kind of
You're
a
near the
culmination.
end.
Yeah, I am the call. That's it. Yeah,
Yep.
36-9. Yeah, so that's my life path number. Fully aware of it. Fully traveled it. Grateful for it. Beam me up.
It may be time to move on. But
Oh, wait.
the interesting thing about you is that you've also taken what, Tai Chi? Is it Tai Chi or
I've studied Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu,
Jiu-Jitsu?
Qigong,
That's what it is.
Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Qigong, Feng Shui, tarot readings, Reiki training, all the way up to Reiki master. A beautiful human you would love is Dr. Eric Pearl, who has a fifth dimensional hands-off healing technique. I was able to train with him in Montreal, so I have that training as well, which I love. Reconnective healing, all the lines and meridians in the bodies. Yeah, I really tried to study everything to get the darkness out of every cell.
Well, you are doing a great job. And if somebody wants to reach out to you, how do they get a hold of you? And can you talk to somebody over the phone if they've got some physical issues and some things, and maybe you can help them?
Yeah, I would love to help people who reach out. I'm a firm believer in that for sure. Ganga Moon Yoga on all platforms. Ganga, Ganga, moon in the sky, my birth sign. And yoga is on Instagram, LinkedIn. There's events on Eventbrite for the year. Facebook, Instagram at Ganga Moon Yoga, but also my author last name. It's tricky to spell. It's Wehlann, Andrea L, Wehlann. And there are websites. You could do a Google search as well. Books are on Amazon. Please give a follow. Free, absolutely free YouTube videos to help you stay calm and peaceful. Anytime you want, you can play them. All of these podcasts are listed there as well. Thank goodness for what you do, because it helps to spread the word for people, Kevin. Thank you so much.
Well, I thoroughly enjoy having you on, and you're going to be back on in a couple of weeks. I've got that. I know that.
I'm
trust me.
so excited. I do too. We've got a secret.
We got a thing going on, baby.
We've got a secret. Yeah. But for anyone listening, the dark parts of your life and the light parts are both love. You are love. You are made from creation, and so you are no less than that. You are love. So even if you just stick to that belief, just for today, just know that for yourself. That's one small win that you can write down for yourself, and this cultivates your greatness.
And I want everybody to know that if you're listening to this and you're doubting that anybody loves you, I can tell you for a fact that Andrea and I love you.
We love you. You are loved. We love you.
And we want to take care of you, and we want you to take care of yourself, because when you take care of yourself, you take care of those around you. And I think you said it earlier that we can break the generational cycles of doing everything in a completely different way. And that's ultimately how we're going to heal the planet.
In a loving way. One of the tragedies I learned, Kevin, I find it so sad to this day, is that you can't actually pick up and help somebody even though you have the answers. I know how to fix a lot of people, but it doesn't work that way. You really have to shine your brightest light from within who you are. That's why we're talking here today. We've both come to that, but from all of our history, right? So it's really about just be the best you can be just for today and build on that. Or write down what those things are and then build on that. Then you've got a little story, a little cushion for if you go back off track. Then you can say, oh, but I was on track here and I felt good, right? Keep going. Don't give up. The beautiful part of this is that it's you at the end. It's you now. There's nowhere to get to. We're already here. Just take care of yourself and any holes in your hearts. Take care of your heart.
Say that again. That's really good.
Take care of your heart. If somebody's hurt you, if you feel pain, you don't need to look for the arrow and see where it came from. Just look at the hole in your heart. And as a mother takes care of a child, take care of that hole in your heart.
That's beautiful.
That's it. Take care of that hole in your heart.
And eventually what you'll find is that hole will disappear in your heart when you continue to take care of it, because the things that used to bother you will no longer bother you because it doesn't matter. And it's, at least from my perspective, I haven't had some of the horrific things happen that some others have. But Andrea, I want to thank you for being here. You've been just awesome again.
You too, Kevin. I just believe in this moment. This is a happy moment.
It is indeed. And is there anything else you'd like to add before we go?
I just have a poem in my head. I had it our last interview. I have to find it and read it to you next time, because the words in it are exactly what we talk about. And one of the lines is, I know I am the greatness. I know I steal the show, but it is a powerful poem. And so I am just going to spend tonight and to get that so I can read it to you next time.
I would love that. Thank you very much again. And your website again before we go?
Gangamoon Yoga at Square Site. It's a Square site, Gangamoon Yoga. But please find me. Please like, follow, help share the podcast, whatever you can do to help. A book review is one of the best things you can do so that somebody else can hear the impact of what we're saying. You don't have to have read my books, but if you've heard something you said or you like this podcast, you can write and just say, I've heard her. You might really enjoy this book. That really is everything. That is really everything wonderful that can be done in this moment for free.
You get the last word. Hey, thanks for listening to this episode of Positive Talk with Kevin McDonald. We are a production of kmmedia.pro, a full-service media company. Whether it is audio, video, shorts, or longer pieces, we're able to take each project from beginning to final product within your time frame and on budget. Visit kmmedia.pro for more details about us and to get started on your project. We also would like to thank the Brushwood Media Network for all their support. Go to brushwoodmedianetwork.com to find out more about them and the quality shows featured on the network. Until then, we'll see you next time. My name again is Kevin McDonald, and please remember, be kind to one another because each other